All right, in this video, we're going to talk about XRP and my latest count, my latest findings with regards to what the whole pattern is and what it could actually mean moving forward. Now, I think XRP is actually a missing piece of the puzzle when it comes to what's going to happen to Bitcoin and XLM and of course other coins. But I'd like to start my next run of videos, like the next series of videos, with this particular view. And it suggests that we had a small wave one at the beginning. We had an A, B, C, and what we had after that was a weak 5 wave move, right? So that means that basically we had a zigzag here. I'll just line this up so you can see it. We had a zigzag there in the first move in the first instance. We had another zigzag here, small correction, and then between that point and the top, it looks like a 3 wave move. I can see that little knot in the middle there. You could see that there is potentially a 3 wave move in there. Now, this particular view basically says that this is D wave that we're in, which means that the correction started from the top there. We've got an A, B, C, D, E pattern, which is currently in E wave. So that means we're going to have a pump up to break the top before we get a pullback. Right now, I'll go to the small degree in a moment to explain where I think we are in wave E and also where I think it'll fall down towards using a bit of confluence and just knowledge on this particular CDE pattern. So when it comes to the pump, I believe that D waves are the breakout wave. When we get this type of movement, it's usually trying to signal a breakout, but it tends to get rejected. And I believe that there's a possibility that this might be in line with something that I believe is going to happen in the market this year. How fast we move up in this move, it depends when it ends, but it could be fairly quick, as you know, in terms of being a C wave. Um, when will it start? I'm not sure. It depends when wave E ends, but I'll talk about that in a sec. So when it comes to when it hits the top and it does reverse for wave E, I do not know how low this will go or how long it will take, right? But usually wave E is the last move in a correction, and it could be happening at the same time that we see this correction in the markets, in the stock market, and just in general, a broader market correction. So I think that this will, depending on how severe it is, will determine how long this E wave is, which will then reverse. And I believe that the deeper it goes, the more chances are that this will be a wave 3 up. So there's a chance that it could continue to move higher in a really big bull market um, across the board, including Bitcoin, XLM, and cryptos in general. Now, this may or may not be the case, but I just think that the first move up is too small for this to be just a zigzag pattern, right? Meaning that wave E would have to be fairly small and we'd have to get a move up to complete what could be a zigzag, because these internal corrections occur in zigzags and wave 2. So there's no real way to know, except it just seems unlikely that that wave down there would be an A wave and all this in between stuff just to create a zigzag, which, look, it could be the case. This is something that we just don't know, but I think it depends on what happens during this time. If they start to really ramp up the money printing and the stimulus, I think that we could be looking at a massive run. So I wouldn't be surprised if that happened, if we did see a crisis. But I just want you to keep an open mind that it could be either scenario. At this point, it's too far into the future. So this is just a bit of a commentary on what I've been thinking. But in terms of what's happening now, the internal structure, we're still in a wave D. So this will end shortly, I believe. Let's go down to the 4-hour just to have a quick look at the CDE pattern. So I believe the move that happened after that spike up was a C wave, right? Followed by a D wave. Now with the E wave, it's definitely choppier. It's definitely looking like a weak 5-wave move there because of the zigzag wave 1 and zigzag wave 3. So we're in wave 4 now. There's an A and a B, very similar to the XLM corrective portion here, but it's slightly in a different section of the move. It's in a, I think it's in a wave 5 zigzag down for wave E. So it's slightly different, but still interesting in that it's a wave E. So it's still the same wave. It's just wave E was a bit larger in the XLM pattern. It's a bit different, the pattern. You have to look at that XLM video, which I'm going to post an updated version because I also have an update for that, which still has similar. It's still similar to the previous idea where we're looking for a zigzag up, but there's more detail now, and I have more of an idea of roughly what to expect if this count is correct. But it's also appearing to be correct for Bitcoin too. So I will be putting out those videos this week. Now, when it comes to CDE patterns, they can take the shape of a zigzag, but they're not really zigzags, they're CDE patterns. Now, this might give us a bit of a clue as to where it might end, because when you get a CDE pattern, you can measure the E wave, compare it to the C wave, and we get this move down based on not only the length of wave E, but also with the fib on, we have this area of confluence here where basically we can see that there's a couple of different sections that line up when it comes to the length of wave E and also the 0.886 area, roughly 90% area. Tells me that there's a chance it could fall down to about 38 cents before it moves higher. Okay, so the target would be the high. Like it might go a bit higher than that, but my target would be $3.35 at that point. So look, let's not get too carried away with the potential, what will happen after that, but I would take profit up there and reassess the situation once we get there. So that's my latest update. Stay tuned. There's more videos coming based on this idea. Thanks for watching.